We are back with another episode. That was mad weird, bro. It's okay. You could be typing in the beginning of the episode. You're like, showtime.
This is my thing. I have to do my thing.
Bro, nobody cares. And for all you listeners, he started like freaking out when the camera got on. I don't even know if anybody caught it.
Yeah, thanks for blowing up my spot. We're also an audio podcast, you know.
That's it. I ruined it. What is going on, bro?
Not much. What's going on? How was your Easter?
It was good. It was good.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be a coming out, like we revived our season
in Miami.
I had a meme ready. Unfortunately, it didn't happen.
Oh man, yeah, it was. I mean, it was a better result, I think, than
people expected.
Yeah,
and again, with our whole conversation about the setting the bar lower, I mean, it was a better result. I mean, a tie you're usually okay with on the road, but this was a depleted Miami team. No Messi, breaking equipment as I speak. So it felt like this is one we could actually steal and win, even though I don't know why it felt like that.
Yeah, man. I mean, did I think we were gonna win? Not really. I think when we talked about this away road trip, it was like, all right, we could come away with 2 draws and with 2 points. Maybe that's not too bad. But agree, when you're coming out of 4 points out of 18 points, it's tough to take in. I'm so tired of complaining, man. I might just be positive this whole episode. Just spin everything to be on a positive note, just because I'm so tired.
Okay, all right. I'll give you something to be positive about. Nick Cushing wasn't wearing a black shirt this game. We are undefeated when Nick Cushing wears blue shirts. Should he consistently wear... Well, so what was up with that shirt?
I don't... Was it a shirt? Was it a jacket?
It was like when you get like a members only shirt, like it felt like kind of that, like members only.
It didn't say NYCFC on it though.
No, it didn't.
What are you talking about? What do you mean members only?
No,
shirt?
not like, you never heard like, oh, when you're like part of a group and then you have like your own members only like type of shirt.
No, I guess I'm not part of a lot of clubs. Okay. I don't know that. It was weird though, man. I couldn't tell if it was a jacket or a t-shirt.
Like pick one or the other, bro.
Exactly. And it just...
Wait, was it long sleeve?
It was long sleeve.
Miami, bro? He was sweating.
Bro, I didn't get it. Also, it just looked...
He should have wore shades with it.
Just gone full.
If you're going to commit to the look, wear shades with it. Don't let us... Maybe even put a hat on.
Maybe that's how he could get back with the fans. They say, oh, we got a new coach. Kick Nushing. And then he just shows up in blue shirt, sunglasses, and a hat.
Never know it's a new... Wow, this new guy's really killing it for us. Was he trying to impress Messi?
I think he was trying to dress for the occasion. He said, Beckham looking good, Messi's going to be looking good, Miami's going to be looking good. I got to come out stylish. This mic is falling like this team. And he looked weird, man. So what do you think? Does he keep trying on new shirts, or does it go back to the all black?
Like I said, we're undefeated when he wears blue shirts. So I say keep trying new looks, man. I like it. It was a little different. Let him, be out there.
I just feel like managers got a look, and that's it. Like I've never seen a manager change their look mid-season.
So bro, something needs to change, and maybe he's superstitious. Like he changed he was always wearing the same socks, same shirt. He had like his whole closet was just black tees, and he was like, nah, we're switching it up, bro. New shirt, new everything.
Let's see what happens at Citi Field.
I'm excited about Citi Field, but let's get into this game. I guess we got to talk about it. All right, first thing that comes up, lineups. It was an interesting one, definitely different. We had Bakrar. Well, let's start from the goalkeeper. We had Matt Freese, Tajanovic, Martins, Gray, Rodriguez, Sands, Parks, Elenik, Wolf, Bakrar, and Martinez. Initial thoughts when you saw the lineup?
My guy cannot keep a consistent lineup for the life of him. This was my thought.
Oh, granted, we have injuries.
No, we have injuries. I guess it was just like seeing Alonso Martinez out there. as the right wing, which I'm glad he did. He ended up playing, but it was just a very different lineup than I thought they were going to go with. But yeah, 3-4-3, and I think he experimented with it. I think it didn't go well, and then I think midway through he ended up going back to like a 4-3-3.
Got it. Well,
Yeah.
one thing I'll say is, I guess there's been like talks about that right wing position. We had Julian Fernandez there. It kind of like he's been not gelling, and then when he gets a start, he is productive. But do you think Julian's not that starter anymore for that right wing position?
I don't know. I do think that he has disappeared in games. But do I think... I mean, I think you keep the hot hand, right? So if Martinez is playing well, keep Martinez out there. But we've seen Julian score. I think he is a scoring threat.
Well, he hasn't scored yet. He's assisted. He had that beautiful assist to Kevin O'Toole.
Yes, that is true.
But like that, like you know you're gonna get something magical out of him. But if you don't get that magic out of that game, it's like he kind of fades into the distance. That's the problem with Julian. It's like he's either gonna bring you a magic shot, a magic assist, but when it comes down to actually like playing the full 90, doing the pressing, it's not Julian style.
Yeah, agreed.
So I don't know if Julian shouldn't play, because when he got subbed in the 68th minute, I thought he wasn't great. I mean, I felt like he felt a little lost out there.
He did, although I would say if he would have gotten that ball in that 97th minute, he could have scored that. I had faith in him.
The last minute?
Yes.
All right, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes,
Calm down, bro. We're going to end our episode 10 minutes in, bro. Yeah, he didn't score. Okay, game over. Okay, so we talked about formations. Let's get into the actual game. When did
the 15th minute?
15 minutes. Luis Suarez scores on the set piece. Was it a set piece?
It was a set piece.
Yes. Yeah. Did you think it was a foul on James Sands?
So originally, when we were watching the game, I didn't think it was a foul. I thought your boy just fell, but then
everybody's my boy, bro. I didn't know I had so many friends, bro. I got like 3 friends, and none of them are NYCFC players.
Yeah, they didn't show a replay really at the game of the set piece. They had one quick
angle, yeah,
and that's it. But when you go back and replay it and you look at it, it does look Suarez, who's known for playing dirty. Looks like he dropped them, bro. And he pushed them.
That's the problem. There was no replays, but VAR would have had more angles of the play. So it was a little weird that we didn't even get to go see VAR.
Exactly.
But I thought it was... initially, right when I saw it, it looked like a foul. Then I saw it again in that same angle. I'm like, maybe it wasn't a foul. He just looks like he tripped over him. But Suarez could have tripped him, put a little foot in there. It's so hard to tell from that wide angle that like it was like pointless. You couldn't really determine it. But I think it should have been reviewed at least.
Exactly, 100% agree. And it's James Sands. Like, I saw some comments like, oh, he just pretended to drop himself. Sands isn't that type of player. My plan plays defense.
Yeah, and especially we know our weaknesses sometimes comes to set piece defending. So they're like keying in that, like, make sure you do not allow a set piece goal, and it was just wide open.
It's funny. I was thinking about complaining about the referee in there, but after complaining about the scab refs, I was like, nah, I'm gonna give these pro refs a little bit of a break.
Bro, I feel like now it's time to complain about the pro refs. My whole thing is like, we always complain about the pro refs anyways, so why stop now? But yes.
But it's good to have you guys back. I like to be complaining about the consistent guys that I'm used to complaining about.
We like to consistently complain about you guys, not the scab guys. Those guys stink.
And I felt like the game was more in control, actually. There was a lot of Suarez yelling at the ref. There was a lot of players.
He got a yellow card at one point, right?
He did get a yellow card, and the refs were like talking back, and they were like, "I'm not dealing with your nonsense." I was appreciating the authority of the game. Didn't love all the calls, but the authority on the game.
And there wasn't 7 different checks on everything.
That is very true.
And the game was so slow with the scab refs. It was like, VAR, we got to double check this. Somebody tied his shoe wrong. VAR. So, okay, we get into that. Suarez scores. I'm like, damn it, this is going to be a tough one. Bakrar had some chance. I'm sorry, guys. I'm all over the place. When did Alonso Martinez score?
He scored in like the 60.
Because before that, we had some chances.
The 34th minute.
Oh, okay, yeah. So Martinez goes, he scores in the 34th minute. And it's crazy because he looked like he could have actually passed it off to Bakrar. And Martinez was like, nah, I'm not doing that, bro. It was an aggressive shot. He just took it all the way himself. He's like, I'm going to own this one. And I think that's what we need right now. Somebody just be like, I'm going to take this shot myself, and I'm going to make sure I form my own chance, basically.
Yeah. And it was nice to see him with the leg power being able to do that, right? So Parks, to set up the play, Parks is the one who got the ball, right? I thought the pass by Parks was beautiful, giving him that open lane, and then him going and scoring that. But you saw like accuracy, you saw power behind that. I think what we've seen is Santiago Rodriguez putting a lot of weight on himself and saying, I'm going to try to make these shots. But he just doesn't seem to have the power behind those shots, and sometimes the accuracy behind those shots. And so seeing Alonso Martinez kind of be able to shoot it in such a powerful way and such a like, I'm taking that shot. I don't know what the word is I'm looking for, but like
directness.
Yeah, sure. I think it was good to see. He's been good, man. He played well last game too.
Yeah, as a sub, he came in, took a couple shots on target, like just right away. And we kind of need a player like that. No flashiness, just goes out there, takes a shot right when he gets it.
Yeah.
Because right now, what happens is I feel like we get like a Hannes Wolf and a Santi. They set up Bakrar, and right now we know Bakrar is not finishing. That takes us to our next step. Like Bakrar in the 49th minute had a header that was a dangerous opportunity. It hit the goalpost. I mean, it was a tough angle from Garrett on that one, so I wouldn't blame him on that. But then in the 60th minute, he had a beautiful setup, I think, by Hannes Wolf right in the middle of the box, and he just moons it.
I mean, he's really living up to his name of Moonsaf.
Damn, why you gotta be so mean, bro?
But on a positive note, maybe he heard he was gonna play football in New York City. And he thought it was the other football. He's going to make easy money playing NFL, learn how to moon the ball. I think this is what happened, bro, because he has become an expert at mooning the ball 3 yards away from the box.
You're being messed up, bro.
I'm just saying, maybe it's not his fault. Maybe it was lost in translation.
You don't even moon balls in. Oh, you meant like if he was a kicker?
Yeah. What else?
Bro.
You don't kick the ball any other time.
I could see him as a running back. Running through some guys. Yo, he's physical too.
He is physical.
Yeah, he's got to finish those chances. I mean, we talk about it every week. I'm like tired of talking about it. I guess how long the leash till Jovan is like that? Till first, we know they paid a crazy amount of transfer fee for Jovan. Granted, he's only 18, and it might be a long-term project. But is that leash gonna start slowing down for Moonsef if these chances aren't being finished?
I don't know, man. I'm really torn up because we haven't seen a lot of Jovan, but the Jovan that we have seen feels like a very unrefined player.
True.
Versus Moonsef, I think, is a very refined player if he can learn how to put the ball in the goal. So I think that is where I'm struggling big time. Because he just does, we said it in the past episodes, he just does everything else so well. And he's made opportunities. Our expected goals are always higher than I expect it to be. And because of him, he's just not converting them, man. So please, Moonsef, turn this around.
You know what's interesting, though? Like, and we've mentioned this in previous episodes. Like, what is NYCFC's identity? And the MLS crew, like, they did a preview show, and they're asking the same questions. What is NYCFC's identity? Because if we look at, like, before we were a high possession team who, like, would move the ball around and formulate chances for ourselves. But, like, these last couple games, like, right now, this game ended with 44 possession. We didn't even dominate the ball with possession. So, like, I'm just curious, like, what is our identity? And it still hasn't been fleshed out yet. And granted, we had international leave. We had players who were injured, but I still feel like I don't necessarily understand the identity. I know we're still going to try to press, but I don't know.
That's a great question. We should ask Cushing in the next press conference what is the ideal identity for the team. Because to me, it definitely feels like he is trying to be more of a defensive team and maybe winning off like the press versus an offensive like firepower
we
team.
know we're not a good countering team, right? Like when the other team has possession, we're not that great. We've already accepted that. So if we're pressing them, but they're getting past us, and then they have a majority of the possession, we're not setting ourselves for the great chances that we like, or really controlling the game the way we like.
Yeah, but we're also not a great offensive team under him. You know, that's my thing too, is that like we consistently see that when we have the ball, we end up passing it back. We give time for the defense to get back and play defense against us, right? Like we don't have an aggressive attack, and we are not decisive on our offensive plays. So either that's not the identity that he's trying to create, and that's not what he's emphasizing in training, or his coaching isn't working, right? If that's the identity he's going for. Because I never go, wow, they look really decisive on offense. Even the goals that we get, a lot of them feel, I mean, which we don't have a lot of goals, by the way, but even on that note, like the goals that we have, a lot of them seem off like broken plays by the defense versus, man, we came up with a really beautiful tactic there, and we score those goals. So
Fair.
what was the question?
The identity of the team.
Yeah, I don't know what the identity of the team is. I have no idea what he's going for.
One identity that we do have, Matt Freese. He's just a brick wall. Nothing's getting past him. Granted, one goal did get past him, but that wasn't his fault necessarily. It was a wide open man. But he's dominating, bro.
Bro, this is the third time in this season that he's had at least 5 saves.
Impressive.
That's crazy.
And it was against Suarez, who basically was all over the pitch, had so many shots on target. It's like these guys should have had a 3-0 lead or 3-1 lead at the end of the game, and thankfully he just was there for us.
Yeah, we only came out with a draw because of Matt Freese, because there were multiple shots that I mean, you wouldn't even fault him if they went in. You know what I mean? And to see him play so aggressively was great, man. He was such a beast. I'm so glad. Philly's so stupid. I mean, I'm glad they are, but that they gave him up is insane.
It's kind of crazy that he didn't start more games last season.
Oh no, we were one of the big proponents to keep Freese out there.
I
homie.
know, but he's playing so well. But granted, I mean, he wasn't as good as he is this year. Maybe it took time to develop into this system and all that. But yeah, he's been impressive. What other? So we had other subs. Were you opposed to any of the subs in this game? I mean, Kevin O'Toole came back. I know he couldn't start because of the concussion, and he didn't really train much with the team.
Although that doesn't make sense. He couldn't start, but then he could play later. When he took Tylenol in the beginning of the game?
No, I think the thought process is he didn't really get to train with the team that week. So, yes, he could come in as a sub to help out late in the game. But to start the game wouldn't be fair versus the guys who were in training, which I understand that thought process. Plus, they maybe were working on specific strategy for this game that he wasn't a part of.
Yeah.
But they still subbed him in. So, I guess in the 70th minute. And then we have Pereira and Malachi Jones. I thought they didn't hurt.
No, they didn't hurt. I love me some Malachi Jones. So when he came in, I was excited. Also, I thought he would have had an opportunity. I think towards the end of that game, we had that opportunity where we took the ball from the defense. It was a 4-on-2.
Oh, dude, that's one of the ones that kill me, man. Like, and for me, I get a little frustrated that Santi's still out there. Because Santi's gassed at that point. That's my problem. Santi was so gassed towards the end that, like, maybe you should have had somebody with fresher legs. Because when you're on that 4-and-2, if you have somebody with fresh legs, they're moving. They're getting the ball. I felt like Santi was so tired towards the end that last chance wasn't even a good chance because he was so fatigued.
Well, I thought he just didn't have the right thought process when he got the ball, because I mean, if he was fatigued, he would be behind Wolf. He was still in the box where I think you would typically have someone, but I think Wolf made the wrong pass in a way. I think Julian Fernandez seemed to be the right call, right? Lead Julian Fernandez, let him take a shot there, but then also on the left hand side, Santi,
you had Malachi Jones.
You had Malachi Jones.
But they kind of overlapped. It was like a little bit of confusion there on what was going to happen.
So, but I think in that point, like
you saying Santi should have passed to Malachi, then he could have done a cross.
Yes, or let the ball go past Santi. Like, Santi, don't grab the ball. Let Malachi Jones get it and score. And then you kind of play like that blocking role. And so I just thought the IQ by Santi there wasn't great. So I don't know how the fatigueness affected it, though.
My whole thing is I make bad decisions when I'm tired. I think everybody does. And you could tell Santi was exhausted. But Santi still was out there 99th minute of the game. And he's been playing every game for basically 90 minutes.
Yeah.
So he was fatigued. I felt like if you have somebody fresher out there, fresher mind, fresher legs, then we can get... I just felt like he was exhausted.
Agreed.
That's all I feel like. And I feel like that chance... if we had some fresher legs, could have been different.
Something I heard the announcer say, I think it was that, they were talking to Santi and like how Santi feels like the pressure of like being the person who like helps this team succeed. And I think it does rely on Santi so much because I think he's our best player on the pitch at this point. And so when he doesn't play well, it's so obvious that the rest of the team doesn't play well. So I think so, but I think that's a lot for him, man. And I'm just not sure if that's like too much. So I'm really excited to maybe get Maxi back and Talish Magno and maybe those players like relieve some of that stress from him. Because I think it's messing with his mind a little bit, being the person who has to be the best. And you're a young kid. You're still trying to figure it out. And he doesn't exactly have that skill set yet. I think he's still developing. And to put that much pressure on him, I really wish we had more veterans on the team to kind of relieve some of that stress.
But he's our guy. I mean, you're going to be the guy. I don't know. I feel like Santi is starting to step up to that level. And yes, he does sometimes put things on his shoulder, and you could tell on the play, like he'll go try to pass 3 defenders versus passing it out. But I feel like this year he's developed to be that guy. And they said he was working on his free kicks so that he could be the guy to make those goals too. And we already saw him make one. So it's like he's put himself in this position to be that guy, and I think he should be that guy. I think you got to sub him when he's exhausted, and you can tell he's exhausted, but he's still the guy, and I feel like he's performing like the guy.
Yeah.
And I just said guy a lot.
I'm not sure if he's performing like the guy at this point. Though. I think there's a lot of parts of the game where he's disappearing. I
think, yeah, I agree with that in a sense, but the team isn't fully fleshed out. So he's still performing to the best. He's still one of our best performers on the field every game.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I agree with you. But talking about not having veterans, should we talk about Chanot?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the Chanot conversation. So Chanot left us. Well, no,
Chanot already left us.
But then he 2-timed us. So I guess, what is your thought process on this? Because this is an interesting conversation. So if anybody hasn't seen, Chanot went to LAFC. And the reason for leaving the French team was the same reasons he left our team. Personal reasons and family reasons. And then the other team did let him have it. They were like, he didn't have his heart on the team, and we don't want somebody basically who doesn't have their full heart on our team. But he used that same excuse about personal and family reasons to us as well. So what's your whole thought process on that? Are you losing a little faith in Chanot?
Absolutely not. I do not. I think the family thing when he left us was BS. I think that's what he said. I think that's what the team told him to say when he left this team, because they didn't want to go out of the tension that was happening between the team and Chanot. That's what I think happened there. I don't know about what happened over there. Right? We don't have the connections on what happened when he was in Europe. And we're all kind of hearing only his side of the story. I mean, their side of the story. Chanot's not saying anything. Although his wife got a little spicy on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. His wife was going on after them.
Yeah. But I do think so that's my thought. My thought process is Chanot didn't leave here for family. He said it because he didn't want to leave amicably with the team and didn't want to be like, yo, me and Cushing or Brad Sims or David Lee are upsetting me.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't think the team told him to say, hey, you're leaving for personal reasons. I think he said that to the team so that they could leave amicable because he got his coaching license. So I think his whole grand scheme of things was, I'm going to return to New York one day as a coach. But, I think there's some validity to that because if we look at his agent, which is his wife, when he did leave that first time, she was liking a bunch of tweets about like, him and Cushing having a beef or like bad things that were said about Cushing. So it's like it was hinting at the fact that there was a broken relationship. And we knew there was a broken relationship once they put in Risa and then Chanot was not in for a game. Yeah. And it was like, I think Chanot felt the type of way about that. Like, hey, I'm still the guy. And they thought he took a step back. Yeah. And Roberto, play-by-play announcer, was on Footy Banter, and he said the same thing. Like, hey, there was people in the organization that thought Chanot was losing a step, and I don't think Chanot felt that way. So that's how
I didn't feel that way either. By the way, I stand with you, Chanot.
But yeah, now he's in LAFC, and I don't know. I feel like there's more to the story that still needs to be unpacked. Hasn't been unpacked.
Do you think this hurts more? Do you think it hurt more when he left the first time or when he signed with LAFC?
Well, it just goes to further the point that his story about leaving for family wasn't necessarily the truth. Right? And we kind of all knew it, but then we were like, hey, he did go to, I forget the French team's name, but he did go to this French league, and he is from this country, and I think that exact location. So
I just want to point out he's not from France. He's from Luxembourg.
Okay.
I don't know if the team is French or a Luxembourg team. I'm sorry. I just want to throw that out there.
Look it up. Whatever. Isn't Luxembourg in France?
I don't think so, but I could be wrong. Nah, I shouldn't have said nothing.
I know.
Luxembourg national football team, yes.
What does that even mean?
Luxembourg's a country, is what I'm saying.
I'm an idiot then.
Yes.
What was I going to say? Now you've made me lose my whole train of thought. What the hell were we talking
about? I asked you, did it hurt more? You said you didn't answer the question at all. And you said...
I said it does hurt more because now it brings validity that he left us because there was turmoil between him with either Cushing or the front office or a combination of both.
Yeah. We don't know the full story, but I gotta say, when I heard that he was going to LAFC, it was the angriest I've been at Nick Cushing. I don't even know if it's Nick Cushing's fault that he left.
I think it's a combination of both.
But I've never
Nick Cushing and David Lee. Even though in his going away speech, he did thank David Lee versus not thanking Nick Cushing. And I think that was intentional. And it could be that David Lee's kind of the guy in the background and Nick Cushing says it to his face, but it's also a little bit of David Lee saying in that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah.
I was so mad at Cushing. I was so mad, and it just felt like it hurt so much because I do believe that if Nick Cushing wasn't the coach and Chanot and Burke Risa got injured, the NYCFC would have reached out to Chanot to take that position.
I don't think that's true.
I mean,
but then you truly think that it's just a bad relationship between him and Nick Cushing.
Because you just said he thanked David Lee.
Yes, but he also wants to come back as a coach.
But does he? I thought he wanted to go back to NYCFC. Now he's in LA with you know.
I just think it's a combination of both. David Lee. Well, even if his full beef is with Nick Cushing, it's because David Lee is not acting like the front man on it and using Nick Cushing as the one to be like, oh, look, say this to him.
I don't know, man. I do think there might have been, because you're saying,
Nick Cushing isn't the players who isn't the guy who brings in players, right? It's David Lee who makes the final decision.
But that means what you're saying is the only reason Chanot was mad at the team was because they signed Burke Risa. And I don't think it was just that. I think there were some issues with like coaching and the way the team was being handled.
I think
and
it's
I think that is a
of
Nick
all of
Cushing
that.
thing.
But then I don't think it's all Nick Cushing. You're saying it's all. You said right when you heard the news, you were just angry at Nick Cushing. But you should be angry at the organization as well, the front office, not just Nick Cushing, because they also, I think, thought he took a step back.
Oh, yeah, but
And that's why you signed Burke Risa, right?
And how do they know if he took a step back or not? Because the coach tells them, right? They ain't experts. You think Brad Sims is like, yeah, nah, he looks slower today?
No, you think David Lee doesn't have his own opinions on the players he brings in and brings out? Yeah, he does. I don't know.
That's a good point. It's a good point. But still, I was so mad. I'm so sad that he's back in MLS. That's what hurts the most to me. That he's back in MLS and it's not with us. And I know, like in general, Chanot's like an eccentric guy, right? Like if you think about every time he get on the pitch, he takes a knee, does the sign of the cross. He's just a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeve. And I think maybe they didn't take that so well on the European team, right? They didn't see that passion from him. And maybe Cushing didn't like the way he was vocal about the way the team was being managed. But I think that's what made Chanot, man. And that's what made him such a great player. And so I would take him back in a heartbeat. So extremely sad that he went to LAFC. But I'm glad we get to see him play, though, in MLS. Yeah. I'm sad, though. Well, I don't even like LAFC, man.
You don't even like
I don't even like
Well, the good thing is we never play against them, so we never have to root against. Unless it's in the MLS Cup final and it's us versus LAFC.
Yeah, I don't think by the time we make it back to the finals, Chanot's going to be long retired, man.
He's going to be coaching us, bro. All right, that was a long-winded Chanot conversation.
I miss you, Chanot. Come back.
Baby, come back. We could do it all.
We could win games.
So NYCFC is 14th out of 15th right now. I just wanted to mention that. We have 4 points. The only team that's doing worse than us is New England in the Eastern Conference. And the next team we play against is Atlanta United. They have 9 points. They have what? Well, how many wins? Hold
3 wins, 0 draws, 2 losses. And they've only played 5 matches.
Oh, okay. So they have more points than us and play less games than us.
Yeah,
that's very exciting. They're number 9, Yakinamis or whatever, the Greek freak. He has 5 goals. He's second in the. It's mad early to say this, but the Golden Boot race.
My man has more goals than our entire team this season. Because we only have 4 goals this season, right?
That's bad.
That's bad.
And they have Thiago Almada. I know he was injured. I don't know if he's going to be back this game, but there's a possibility.
According to FotMob, the only player that was injured for their team, I think you have FotMob open, did not include Thiago Almada. It was one of their center backs.
Oh, okay.
So he could be back, which is scary.
If you had to predict our lineup, it's probably impossible to predict. We don't, with injuries and all this, what would you say? Do we kind of go out with more of the same we did last week? Probably not, because Nick Cushing doesn't like playing the same lineup. But
so I think I don't think Burke Reese is going to be back. I know they said it was day by day, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to come back 100%. So I do think we'll probably see something similar to what we saw this week. I think 3 in the back is a little scary. We saw how many opportunities we gave up to Miami doing that. So I would like us to go back to 4 in the back, and you have Kevin O'Toole back, right? You can play Gray. Man, Gray is just so underrated. I feel like we need to see more Gray out there. Mija is not living up to what we expected offensively. So I think we need to put more power in our defense, and I thought Gray was actually very good this game defensively. So I would say go back 4 in the back, put Kevin O'Toole back at left back, and put Gray
so Misha
at right
doesn't
back.
Play again,
or he comes in later. Chills at the second half.
Okay,
brings that offensive flair when we need it, when we're down 3-1.
Wait, we're playing at City Field. Come on, be positive. We're gonna get a W in City
Man, I
Field.
said I was gonna complain. All I've done is complain.
All game, and then you talked about how mad you were at Nick Cushing for Chanot.
I was so mad.
So if we had to look at the betting lines for this game, NYCFC is a -105. The draw is +240.
That's Atlanta.
Atlanta is +270, and the under 2.5 is +110. And both teams to score is -138. For all the people who don't do betting, they're like, I don't care about any of this. So wait, how did we do last week? We didn't do the graphics this week. We're lazy, but we'll update it for next week.
But we do have the numbers though. So you did win your bet of the team to have under
2.5 goals.
Under
so
2.5
under 3 goals.
Yes.
Which was scary in the first half. I'm
Nah,
we're screwed.
If it wasn't for Freese, you would have lost another bet.
That's true. Freeze, I owe you money. I'll pay you. I'll pay for your lunch next game.
However, you only bet $10.
I'm poor.
So you are now up to $50.
Woo! What's my winning percentage?
40% winning percentage. You
solid.
have 3 wins and 2 losses.
I'm like Atlanta, bro.
Oh no, sorry, 2 wins and 3 losses. Sorry.
I'm like NYCFC.
And I said both teams would score. I bet a heavy $50 on that.
What? Did you really?
I thought I did.
Yeah, right.
It was
Whatever.
25 or 50, but I thought it was 50.
Okay, let's just say you did.
And so then we'll correct it next week if I'm wrong. But that means I'm 3 wins and 2 losses, and my profits are at $154.
Dude, you're making money. You're paying for your season ticket. You're paying for your one ticket to go see Messi for $250. What'd you think about that?
He is 100% not playing our game. Wait, what happened?
Oh, like the ticket prices are like crazy for the home match against Messi. I think it's like $200 or something.
I know.
And you know that upper deck is going to be empty, bro.
You think so? Against Messi?
I don't think it's going to be $200 worth. That would be sick, though, if it's all filled up. I'll be very excited. But it's so expensive.
But if Messi plays, I think it'll be... What happens if... My scare is that they sell all these tickets and Messi doesn't play. And then it looks like an abandoned stadium.
I mean, doesn't it mostly look like an abandoned stadium? No, we're not as bad.
Like, if you have that section open, and then you have,
that section is always there, though, regardless.
No.
Well, no, it's not.
It's closed.
I know it's not open, but if you were to look at the shot, like, well, they never show
but
that.
it's even weirder if there's gonna be like 2 people up there. That's what I'm saying. I think that's gonna mess things up. So hopefully he plays and it's a sellout crowd because that'll be fun. The energy would be nice.
Yeah, it'd be really nice.
And then we'll see all the press box would be full.
Oh, everybody will be in there.
Yeah.
All these papers and stuff that don't follow the team will be there just for Messi. What's the bet you like for this game?
You know, I think I'm on fire with both teams to score. And I do not trust NYCFC yet to start bringing in
Matty
W's
Ice.
even at
That's
home.
what you're doubting. Matty Ice. He's getting his first clean sheet of the year. This game.
No, I'm excited for you to think that, but I'm too scared to do that. So I'm gonna say both teams to score at -138. Although now you got me a little scared, so I'm gonna put less money on it. I'm gonna put $25. Both teams to score.
$25. All right, I'm going with NYCFC to straight up win. I know this one burned me. We're at City Field. The crowd, you hear the fans better at City Field. The trumpets come out. Like it's gonna be. We're back. And remember, City Field is like when we have good times. I'm basing this all on City Field right now. City Field is gonna be a good time, bro. The crowd is louder at City Field. The vibes are better. The stadium, the future stadium, is across the street. We know it. We're gonna be there. So NYCFC to win. I'm doing $25. We're gonna come back and win this, bro.
Wow. I'm glad I bet first because you would have really persuaded me to do something crazy.
We actually need this W too. Like this is the start for, I think, the fight for Nick Cushing for the rest of the season. So if these guys, as Nick Cushing says, they have this heart and there's this togetherness on this team, they're playing for, I think, Nick Cushing's job in this next home stretch.
Yeah.
So it's time to win games. It's no more excuses. You got to start winning.
And it's 6 games at home, but not against 6 easy teams.
I think it's 5 games at home.
Oh, is
But regardless, it's a home stretch that needs to be. You need to turn this around. This home stretch. And I think this is an indicator of how this whole season is going to go. If we turn it around this home stretch, we turn around this season. I think that's it. Oh, Open Cup today.
Oh, yes. We are recording on Tuesday at 7 in the morning, even though I'm still working New Zealand time.
You and this New Zealand, bro.
Terrible, guys.
I'm excited for Open Cup. I'm going to try to make it today. You're not because you suck.
And I'll be working at that time. Sorry, we all got to do some weird time job. We don't got you 9-to-5ers out here.
Work from the stadium, bro.
It's raining. My laptop's
bro,
gonna get
I'll hold an umbrella like this as you put in some work. I know a lot of the young guys who start for the NYCFC 2 team went to this generational cup thing, and they might not be playing for this game.
Which is crazy.
I know. I thought you would bring more emphasis to the Open Cup game versus a generational cup.
Well, I hear there's a lot of viewership and a lot of scouts out at the generational cup game.
So they did it for the players, I guess?
Well,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you want to bring more value to your players. That makes sense.
Did you hear? I mean, we were about to end this episode, but now did you hear about Chris McFarlane potentially getting signed?
Oh yeah, by Man City.
Yeah,
but Nick Cushing said this is the first time I hear about this.
And bro, when do you ever believe what Nick Cushing says? What are you talking about?
I'm just saying that's what we're hearing from now on. We don't know how true it is. You gotta sneeze. This guy does this weird face when he has to.
I'm trying so hard to not sneeze though.
Why did you sneeze, bro? You've been weird this episode. Before the thing, you're like, ugh, and then like now you gotta sneeze.
Oh man!
Did you see what happened in Toronto?
No.
Before the game, there was like a whole wedding ceremony. And like all the there was like in the supporter section, they were like chanting, and then they like did this whole like marriage thing. It was cool.
Who got married?
You think I know the Toronto fan who got married?
I wasn't sure if it was a Toronto player.
Oh no! It was the Toronto supporter, so that was cool.
Yeah, I would be so mad if I got. Oh no, it was Montreal. Forget it. Disregard.
What?
Montreal's like stadium is made of like shipping crates.
Oh.
I'd be so mad if that was the infrastructure that I'm getting married on. But that's cool. I've never been to Toronto.
Also, Joe Tollison back with the Apple Crew. It made me think of the Canadian teams. He was doing the Vancouver game, so we might hear some Joe Tollison doing a NYCFC game not too far from now.
That's crazy. Wait, why doesn't he do all the NYCFC games?
No, I think then they're gonna think it's like bias and. I mean, we already know some of these guys.
We got 20 Red Bull players doing play-by-play. That's crazy.
All right, I'm wrapping this thing up. City Field, guys. We'll see you.
Yes, obligatory subscribe, like, comment, blah, blah, blah.
All that good
We're
stuff.
on Twitter, Instagram.
Later. It's not Twitter's X, bro.
Stop it.
Peace.
We're Twitter. Peace.